story time. So I'm going to tell you this story so that you can pause as a lesson to you and for you. Okay, so this is an exciting time for people. That's why I'm telling this type of a story, because people get too excited even during a holiday, Farmers Day. People are getting too excited. People are binge drinking, exchanging gifts on Farmers Day. To be specific, Africans, and to be very specific, Zambians, we get too excited. I will not say much about this holiday, but why are you that excited? Anyway, let's go to the story. So this story is a very embarrassing story. It's gonna be a funny and embarrassing story. And this story, yes, I've told it to people, but I always left out one detail that I'm going to tell today. And even though I'm narrating this story, trust me, it feels sort of embarrassing to me because it's embarrassing. Anyways, so I was going out with this guy. I was working in Livingstone. When I got transferred to Livingstone, I started dating this certain guy. So me and this guy go out to have drinks and to have some food. So we always ask each other, like, what's your drink? There's a reason why people have drinks. I'll give you an example of me and an example of my friend. I'll mention her real name. Her name is Tandiwe. This friend of mine, Tandiwe, wine doesn't do her well. Whilst for me, wine doesn't do anything to me. Of course, yes, it gets me tipsy, not drunk, not even drunk at all, just tipsy. Yeah, it gets me tipsy. It never gets me drunk. Even ciders, if it's ciders just scratch my brain a bit. They just scratch like, whilst wine gets in my brain, but ciders just scratches my brain a bit like, and I'll just be like, oh, I'm tipsy. Yeah. So people have drinks. For me, ciders and wine, they don't do shit to me. Whilst my friend Tandy, if she takes, there was a time when we were both taking wine, it did her so bad she got wasted. I was standing over her laughing like, how has this wine gotten you wasted? Like, wine doesn't do shit to me, dude. How come you are wasted? Like, she got wasted, she started crying, and she got drunk, and she started puking. So there's a reason why people have drinks. For some of us, some of the drinks are not our drinks. So that night, I was just taking wine, and I was fine. Not until the night got messed up in this way. I got a hiccup. So at that time, I was with the same so-called boyfriend. We were just the two of us, not until his friends came through as well to join us. So I was like, guys, I have a hiccup. I need some water. I have a hiccup. I need some water. Guys, I have a hiccup. I need some water. So as I come, my boyfriend, he stepped off from where we were. He went to give me some water. I was expecting to see a bottle of water, but he brought me a clear liquid in a clear glass. So I was assuming, no, it's water. And I just gulped it. Cool. I don't know if you guys are like me. I'm not the type who sips on liquids. I just gulp. When I'm sipping on liquids, then it's wine. But anything like even ciders, I just gulp, because it's nothing to me. Same as juice, same as water. So I just gulped the so-called water. Coop. Next, I found myself in the bathroom, in my own apartment, in my bathroom. So that clear liquid in the clear glass was not water. One of my boyfriend's friends just gave him a glass and he handed it to me. I don't know if he knew what was in there or he didn't know, only God knows, but he just handed me the liquid. And guess what? That liquid was alcohol. So when you're gulping something, you don't really feel the taste, not until, I don't even know if I felt the taste, because next, after gulping that liquid, I was on my bathroom floor. So I'm on my bathroom floor, sleeping, face down like this. So that day, that's why also it's not advisable to go wearing your work uniform or just your branded t-shirt. Your work branded t-shirt. It's not advisable because you can get embarrassed. So that day, I was wearing my branded work t-shirt and I was wearing jeans. It was a Friday, so casual, right? But I wore a work branded t-shirt. And it was written, the company was there, very, very big in bold letters, very clear. And that town was very small. So a client would know me, trust me, and they would say, I saw you. Wow, I saw you at the club. The way you were dancing or what, whatever they saw, they would tell you they saw you. So I'm on the bathroom floor. I'm confused because what I remember is I was drinking water. But what am I doing on the bathroom floor? I was so confused. I got up, I was like, where am I? I looked around and I was like, this is my bathroom. I'm in my bathroom. How did I get here? I looked down, guys. My pants were down. My pants were down. I had taken off my pants, or whoever took off my pants. They were down. And then now here comes the embarrassing part. I'll just use the big word so that it doesn't sound as embarrassing as using the small word. So, first of all, I had urinated on myself. Secondly, I had defecated on myself. I was like, how did this happen? I have defecated in my pants. I was in disbelief because that had never been me. That wasn't my kind of life, like me getting wasted. I had never lived in that way. So I was shocked. I was like, girl, is this you? Like, what happened? What happened to you? What happened? I stood up and, guys, I had defecated on myself. And I was wearing blue jeans. So now I started thinking, because in that apartment, we were living a lot of us. There were students, whilst for me I was working. And outside that apartment, the owner of those premises, they had lodge apartments outside the apartment where we were living. So I started thinking to myself, what happened? Because if this situation started from where we were and they brought me in this state, it means the customers, the clients, my landlord's clients saw me. The people who I live with in this apartment saw me. The guard, because there was a guard at that place, he saw me. The manager there, he saw me. And there was some girl who used to work there. She saw me. I was like, God, what happened? So I stood up. Guys, I was wasted. But in this moment, I regained my energy. I was like, there's no way. And then I started thinking, like, how long have I been on the floor? Sleeping in my own defecation. How long have I been on the floor sleeping in my own defecation? And I was like, I'm sure everyone was just standing around me, laughing at me. I was like, this is so embarrassing. This is not the kind of person I am. And the landlord also knew me to say I wasn't that kind of a person. So I was like, now she'll think I was pretending. This is not the kind of... So I got up. I locked the door because I found I was in the bathroom lying down, but the bathroom door was open. So I locked the door. I took off everything. Guys, luckily there was no fecal matter like on the floor. It was just on my pants. I peeped in the toilet bowl, there was nothing. So I was like, is it that I stood up from my bedroom, then I was trying to use the bathroom, then I couldn't, then I fell down and I just helped myself over there. So I took off all my clothes. How the bathroom was smelling. The thing is, the apartment I was living at, we were sharing. We had our own bedrooms, but we were sharing the shower and we were sharing the kitchen and every other room, like the sitting room. I was like, oh my God, this is what people talk about, living this kind of life. Now I found myself in this situation. So I checked everywhere first if it was clean, because I'm a clean person. If I tell you I was drunk, you understand at the end of this story why I'm telling you I was wasted. But napupuluka, naisa pupuluka. I checked around, there was no fecal matter. It was just on my clothes. I was like, good. I I ran in my bedroom because I used to keep everything in my bedroom. I was like, I'm not gonna put, like some cleaning things in the bathroom. I only used to use those things when I want to use the bathroom. So I ran in my bedroom. I got Domestos. I just got Domestos and I ran back and I locked the door. So I spilled the Domestos in the toilet, on the toilet bowl. I scrubbed the toilet. I was like, just in case I'm not seeing properly, I scrubbed the toilet on top and scrubbed the toilet bowl. And I spilled some Domestos on the floor. I was like, just in case I'm not seeing properly. I spilled some Domestos on the floor and mopped the floor with Domestos. Then now I went in the shower. Now here comes the disgusting part. Remember that my pants had fecal matter? I opened the shower and I started cleaning off the fecal matter from my jeans. Using the shower, I was like this. Then the fecal matter started going down the drain. It was too soft. It wasn't even like in shapes. It was diarrhea. So I did that because I couldn't like throw it in the toilet. So I was like, ish, you people will forgive me, but I will clean this bathroom. I cleaned that bathroom. So I washed my jeans just with water to get the fecal matter off. The fecal matter went with the water down the drain. I ensured there was nothing, but the bathroom was smelling. Of course, yes, when you're using the bathroom, if you're defecating, it does have a scent, but the whole bathroom was smelling, including the shower, because it's like I had been there for a while. It's more like someone uses the bathroom, they defecate but they don't flush. So since I had defecated and I was there for, I don't even know how long I was there for, the smell spread everywhere. So I washed my clothes. That's what I started with. Next step, I started showering. I washed myself very well down there. I showered. After showering, I ensured there was no fecal matter. Then I spilled Domestos. I think I used half the bottle. I was just thinking of, my housemates, or let's say my apartment mates. I was thinking of them. I was like, you can get people sick. So I poured like almost half the bottle of Domestos in the shower, and I scrubbed the shower, and I scrubbed the towels, and I scrubbed the shower itself, the shower head, the taps. I scrubbed everything. I cleaned that shower. Oh my goodness. So I stayed in that shower, I think, for a very long time, and I am glad it was late, because imagine if I slept through the night, then it was in the morning and people want to use the shower. It would have been bad for me. It would have been embarrassing. My reputation. What I was mostly thinking about is my reputation, because I like to keep a good reputation. The landlord knew I was a good person. My apartment mates knew my kind of reputation. So like, now they're just gonna think I'm a mad girl. My reputation. That's what I was thinking about. So I finished that, and then I ran to my bedroom. I put on my underwear, I put on my pajamas, and that's how I dropped on the bed. I was wasted. Now let me define for you the kind of wasted I was, so that you understand. In that moment, I only gained energy because I needed to save myself. I was like, my reputation, okay? Otherwise, I was weak. I even, up to now, I get shocked. Like, where did that energy come from? Because after everything, I just dropped on my bed. I didn't even check for the time, but I woke up somewhere during the day. I checked the time, and I was still wasted. My head was on fire. I was dizzy. I couldn't walk. So I was thinking to myself, like, how did I manage to do all those things? The cleaning, the washing of my clothes. How did I manage to do that? I was dizzy. I was failing to walk. I couldn't get up. Each time I got up, I would fall on the bed. It was like the world was still going on. So I checked for the time. It was showing 12. I'm like, this is 12 and I'm still drunk. That's how come I went back to sleep. And it wasn't even like, oh well, let me go back to sleep. It was just, I'm still drunk. Boom. Again, I fell down and I went back to sleep. And then I woke up again. I was like, maybe now I'm okay. It was like around, I think that was 17. I was still not okay. Not until around 19. when I woke up is when I was still wasted, but at least I had gained some sort of energy and I could walk, but I was still staggering a bit. But I wasn't drunk to that point whereby I start saying, the goodness with me is even in my wasted stage, even though that was my very first time getting wasted, I was still thinking clearly. I do think clearly. Like, if I'm drinking, I think clearly. I'm not the type like who start insulting you, or I start calling my ex like I want us to get back. I think very clearly, maybe even more clearer than when I'm sober. Yeah, so I woke up at 19. I was like, no, let me get up and get myself back to life because I'm dead right now. So I woke up, I got myself back together. Like, I went to wash my face again, I brushed my teeth, I checked around. I was like, you can find, maybe you are thinking that you can find you are thinking you are doing the right thing, but maybe there's fecal matter everywhere. I went in the bathroom to inspect again. It was clean. I was like, oh, thank God. I went back in my bedroom. I was like, let me try to prepare a meal. I was hungry. My head was pounding. I was dizzy. I was still staggering. I didn't have energy. So I went, my fridge was in my bedroom. I went to get some relish and whatever I wanted to cook. I went in the kitchen. I found my apartment mates. And they weren't saying anything or laughing. Nothing. So, because I was very paranoid before I went to sleep, I was like, what happened? I'm sure someone saw me. But they weren't saying anything like, you were drunk yesterday. You did nothing. No one was saying anything. So I was like, I'm not also going to ask my apartment mates. My plan was to ask the girl who used to work there. So I asked her when the girls left. I was like, what time did I get home? She tells me, I think she told me around, she was like around, it should be 24:01. I forgot it, but I think that's what she said. Then I asked her, please tell me what happened from the moment I got home. I was expecting her to tell me a whole big story, dramatic, long story. She was just like, no, your boyfriend dropped you off. He wanted to escort you and you were like, I'm fine, I'll go alone. And I could tell you were drunk, but the way you were walking, you weren't staggering. You just walked and bypassed all of us very fast. But before you did, you greeted us like you normally do. And you just bypassed very fast and went to your room. And it's true. For me, when I am tipsy or I'm drunk or I'm sick, I walk very fast. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know that I'm sick. I walk very fast. So she told me you walked very fast and went to your room. I was like, are you sure? I didn't even ask her like, I didn't ask her about what I saw happening to me. Like, did you notice anything on my pants? So I just asked her, is that all that happened? At yes. Now, like, do you know that I was very drunk yesterday? And I couldn't even tell that you were very drunk, but I could tell that, okay, this girl is from drinking. You weren't smelling of alcohol. You didn't say anything. I asked her, please just tell me the truth. Please. Is there anything that happened? That no, nothing happened. Are you sure? As yes. Then I just decided to ask my apartment mates, although that was some time later when I moved away from there. I was like, guys, that day, is there anything that happened? They were like, no. Then I opened up to them, but I didn't tell them that I defecated. I just told them I peed on myself that day. And I thought you guys found me in the bathroom and maybe you laughed at me. And they were like, no, you just go to your room. And we were actually just in our bedrooms and we slept after some time. So that's what happened, guys. But I threw away those jeans because in spite of me washing them, I was just like, anyways, I've had these jeans for a long time anyway. I was like, I can't continue wearing these jeans. I defecated in them. I just threw the jeans away. I burnt them. I was like, even though I washed them. So I just threw it away. That's what happened, guys. That's my most embarrassing story. And I was like, someone might have spiked my drink because I was just taking wine. So I asked my boyfriend, like, did you spike my drink? how can I do that? Or did someone spike my drink? And they were like, no. But I know someone spiked my drink because that didn't add up. I have taken wine in my life. I've never gotten the way I got drunk. That's what happened, guys. If I think about it now. But the only relief I got is that no one saw me. No one found me when I was in the bathroom. Nobody. I was even thinking the landlady, I'm sure the landlady and her hubby, they were just standing around me and they were like, this tenant is not a good tenant, we should let her go. That was my only relief. I was like, thank God my reputation has been maintained, even though for that night I was someone else. Although the someone else was very embarrassing. It wasn't even like I went around insulting people. I defecated on myself. That was so embarrassing if someone found me. So that's my most embarrassing story, guys. So be careful out there, even as you are taking alcohol. Let them not spike your drink. Something worse might happen to you. At least, I messed myself up. Something worse might happen to you, and we don't want that to happen to you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Thank you guys for your support. See you next time on Storytime with Kitara. Bye.